San Francisco, how y'all feeling? San Francisco, make some noise!
My name is Vicky, and I'm one of the co-founders of Dhol Rhythms and Nonstop Bhangra.
1, 2, 3.
Bhangra has been a huge part of my family and my culture for as long as I've known, and ever since I was very little, it's been something that's been around me. When I was younger, I participated in all kinds of school shows and lots of cultural programs, so it's always been a huge part of my family. This dance is something that originated among farmers. It's a huge part of family celebrations and family life, and Punjabis, are known for this particular dance and music. One of my most vivid and just happiest memories have always been when I was dancing. The one time where I feel like the best part of me comes out.
So it's that, right? Yeah. The first one's out, the second one's in the center.
My name is Suman Raj. I work the business end of Nonstop Bhangra and Dhol Rhythms. I make sure that everything's taken care of, all the finances are taken care of. I was born and raised in the Fiji Islands. My parents were both singers and my dad was in a band. And when we migrated here, we would all get together. We would have variety shows, and all the younger generations, my sisters and myself, we would choreograph dances and we would perform on a stage. Over the years, I've just learned to love it. It just makes me happy. When the opportunity came, when we talked about creating Dhol Rhythms and what to do with it, and I just saw it as a natural fit.
My name is DJ Jimmy Love. I'm part of Nonstop Bhangra. I'm actually the founder of Nonstop Bhangra alongside Vicky Burke and Suman. Outside of being the person who put on the event, I'm also the main DJ of the event, as well as the producer behind the sounds of Nonstop Bhangra. Ever since I was young, I was really into music. I'd say a lot of it was my older brother. He used to quiz me, play like 4 seconds of a song, and I'd have to name what artist it was, what album it was on. It was actually kind of like a fun game that we used to always play together. As I got older, then I did raves, and now it's living out here. I'm like, I've always wanted to like put stuff together, like make an event happen.
One day, myself and Suman and another friend of ours, the three of us were driving to San Francisco, and we were listening to Bhangra music, and we were dancing around and, smiling and laughing and all that stuff. And I remember turning down the music and us talking and thinking like, wow, this is such a beautiful, free-spirited energy that it'd be so great to share it with people.
That was kind of a revelation, I guess. We all kind of stopped and said, this would be a great thing to share with other people and to teach people how to do this.
So we put an ad on Craigslist a few days later to see if anybody would even be interested in learning about it.
Didn't really have a huge response. I think it was just a couple of people started the first class.
And then after that we got all these responses and we were like, now what do we do, And someone was like, well, how about we get a studio and try teaching it?
We got a few more students and then tried many different places. A lot of it didn't work out, but we kept at it, just knowing that there would be a right fit eventually.
Once we got the response, and then we were like, let's try another class. We approached Ashkenaz, which is in Berkeley.
We started that class, and we have not even thought about moving, not even thought about going elsewhere.
So starting with your right, your heels. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, step 5, 6, 7.
It's been 7 years and we've been teaching in that same space, and that class has just turned into this like beautiful community of women and most of them are women that come out that have been coming for years and years.
It's so much fun. I started out in this class and I loved it so much that I started doing the advanced class as well. So now a good week for me is 2 Bhangra sessions. I love it because there's no way to be depressed at the end of a Bhangra class.
I saw a video of Bhangra on YouTube a few years ago. I was like, I have to do that. I am a total addict. I love it. It just makes me so happy.
It has just added a whole other level of joy to my life. It's fun, the people are great, the music's wonderful, and now everywhere I go when there's dancing, my shoulders are up. Vicky is a fantastic teacher. She's just so full of life and a sparkling smile, and the music's great. You just gotta do it. Stomping and moving, it's just good.
San Francisco class has changed over the years a lot. We've done it at different places according to what was available. But Ashkenaz, for some reason, is kind of like the base of Dole Rhythms. That class has always been there. We rehearse, and we do it every Saturday, and we've been doing it for 7 years. So it's kind of become like a very ritualistic part of our life.
Every time we're in that class, it reaffirms why we're doing this. Just seeing everybody's faces and how much they enjoy it totally reaffirms, yeah, we're doing the right thing and this is what we need to be doing.
I used to paint a lot in San Francisco. I used to show all around the Bay Area. I was also DJing, and at that point in time I already had a really insane amount of records. Any chance I got, I was in a thrift store, record store like Groove Merchant, and taking it more seriously. It was kind of a transition point, where I was more focused on DJing than art. During this time, Dole Rhythms did their first or second performance at a venue that I worked at. And through that is where I met Vicky Verk. We met and started dating. She was getting her classes off the ground. She had about 10 classes a week. I was curious as to how and where her students actually went out and danced to this music. There was a couple DJs that would sometimes mix Bhangra into their set, and so a lot of her students would go out to these, nights and just wait for a Bhangra song or two to come on. And as a DJ, I was like, that's kind of sad.
He had been many, many times that suggested you guys should have a place for your students to come and dance. And we wanted to celebrate our 1-year anniversary, so that's where the actual event started.
The first one, we got like 75 people out. It was at an art gallery in the city. It was called the Punch Gallery.
I remember us writing down all kinds of random things on a piece of paper and like, what are we gonna call it? We suddenly were like, Non-Stop Bhangra. That was the idea of like, we'd play Bhangra music and people would come and dance.
We kind of went overboard the first time. We're like, we have to have drinks, we have to have food, we have to have chai, because we got to take care of everybody.
We did one more at the same gallery, and we got 25 more people, and it started to kind of build a little bit of a buzz. And right after we finished that, we got a random call out of the blue from a club, a rickshaw stop. The thought of a Bhangra night actually working wasn't really something realistic to any of us. We were like, there's no way that 300 people are going to come out to fill this big cavernous space.
Non-Stop Bhangra is a very popular event for us at Rickshaw. Their energy is just infectious almost, and I don't see the night slowing down anytime soon.
It's probably one of the best parties I've played in San Francisco, where people respond to the music in such an energetic way.
It's really easy to interact with. The people are a lot of fun. You don't have to be an expert dancer to be able to do it.
When you go there, everybody is just so happy. That's all I see at Non-Stop Bhangra, and that keeps bringing me back all the time.
There's people that you see at every single Non-Stop Bhangra. There's fans that are at every one.
It's so different. It's diverse, it's fun. We've brought our family members and friends, and everyone we bring, they really love it.
Yeah, this is one of the best events in San Francisco.
If you want to experience the world in one night in San Francisco, be here.
It's funny looking back as now, there's moments where we've hit 700 people and you can't fit another body into the place.
I have been to East Coast, I've been to Midwest, I've been to various Indian music nights, and I haven't seen the energy that is there at Nonstop Bhangra anywhere else.
It really is about just, good music, bringing people together and not caring about where you're from, learning something new about a different culture and dancing together. So every Saturday is when we all come together and go through all the stuff we already have choreographed or learning new things. Initially, when we first started, it was always getting ready for if we had a performance coming up. And now it doesn't matter if we have a performance coming up or if we have an event coming, it doesn't matter. We get together and we dance, and we're always creating and learning new things.
It started off with a small group of women, but eventually it came to a point where everybody that was coming into the troupe, there was a connection, and I think that's what kind of solidified the troupe.
It's grown naturally, it's come on its own as like one thing evolved to another. We never thought we were going to have a dance company or a dance troupe or we'd be doing performances. I'm really proud of it because many of these women, they didn't grow up doing this dance. They learned it in classes and they've come a long way as dancers.
I'm Carrie Crone. I met Vicky and Suman in 2002. I was at their launch party actually for Dough Rhythms. So I kept performing with them, and then a year or two later we formed the dance troupe.
My name is Pravina Kumar, but everybody knows Miss Beeman. Vicky started teaching classes and she asked if I wanted to dance. I agreed to do that, and I've been dancing with them for 7 years now. It's great. It's a lot of fun.
My name is Mila. I have been dancing with the troupe for a little over 4 years now, but I was introduced to Bhangra a long time ago when I was in my teens. So I've been doing it and I love it, and it's been a wonderful part of my life.
So I'm Lisa. A friend of mine who knew I was really into Hindi film and all of this said, oh, there's a class and you should go, and it's Bhangra. I came to class and just absolutely loved it. Kept coming to class and was eventually asked to join the troupe.
I'm Rajni. I joined Dough Rhythms a little over 6 years ago. Started coming to Vicky's dance classes, and it just kind of grew from there. And now it's really become like much more than just dance for me. Such an awesome opportunity to just go to amazing venues and meet just such a diverse group of people and share what I'm really passionate about, which is dance.
I'm Lana, and I got involved in 2007. I went to a concert and it was just really electric for me to watch them.
My name's Nina, and I've been dancing with the troupe maybe about 3 years. I first saw the troupe at a fundraiser for Katrina. Vicky invited me to come join, and it's been a really, really good part of my life.
They've all just taken so much time to learn this dance, and that's really cool to see how far they've come. And now when you watch many of them dancing, some of them could just totally pass for being Punjabi. You wouldn't even know the way they move and the way they choreograph things. It's a pretty cool thing to see.
All of us have such just stressful lives, and then we come together and it's just sort of the one place where you can just sort of completely let yourself go.
We're all professionals, like we all have day jobs, and it ranges. One of us is an accountant, one of us is a scientist, one of us works with international travel.
Some of us have families and kids and stuff. So we're not your typical dance company at all.
Over the years, our choreography has changed from just doing like simple Bhangra steps to creating more production-like performances that can have stories in it, and then everybody creating together.
It has definitely been an evolutionary process. We just learned as we went along. We didn't know how we were going to do this, how it was going to end up. And to see what this dance troupe has become, it's this music and dance that has brought us together.
Move to the rhythm of your soul and you'll never miss a beat. That was the quote that launched Dole Rhythms, which I scribbled on a piece of paper years and years ago, even before Dole Rhythms started, and that's what kind of inspired Dole Rhythms, and it's a part of how this whole thing started, and it sums up the whole basis of what Non-Stop Bhangra and Dole Rhythms is all about. As long as you're moving to that beat that you feel in your soul, that spirit that you have, you'll never miss that step. So it's not about being a perfect dancer. It's all about feeling that rhythm that connects you to the body that you're in, to the world that you live in. That's what it's all about.
It's been very interesting to be around Dole Rhythms and watch their growth. We used to meet at my apartment in the city, and I would help them sew clothes together and make outfits. Now, you know, they have somebody who makes the outfits and puts the jewelry together and everything.
I know, but I don't think Masi can stitch that. Here we go. Look at this. My clown pants. That's what Jimmy helped stitch, remember? And a red one like this. You did? We stitched fabric onto our pants. I swear it was like clown pants.
I can close my eyes and see so many memories of them rehearsing in my apartment with poorly sewed together clothes, and knowing where they are now, you know, I'm one of the very few people that got that insight. You look back and you're like, there wasn't that much glamour. We actually looked kind of crazy going out. You know, like we didn't look pro.
These are beautiful. I think on stage this would look gorgeous.
My mom's oldest sister, she does all of our stitching. So we buy fabric, we take it to her. She's really, really good, but she gets mad at us when we buy stuff that the needle wouldn't go through, like something like this. She'd kill us.
Sometimes we don't ask for permission, we just ask for forgiveness.
We're actually going to get this. This was a very productive shopping spree. Do I eat or do I buy pretty fabric?
We're gonna do jumpsuits.
No, it's so wrong.
In the early years of Dole Rhythms, they had a lot of hurdles. There was so many years of doing things on really bad sound systems. It's like the girls work so hard and you only have that one moment to be up in front of people. You know, little things like that in the early days was the hurdles, you know, it's like the real things where you learn your industry, your craft. The one thing that the girls have always had is just that 100% belief that this is what they're supposed to do, and nothing ever stopped them.
Yay! We're so happy. We found stuff.
Hey, so y'all ready for some live music or what? Hey, yo, Jimmy, drop that.
Over the last year and a half, we've spent a lot of time building a live element to Non-Stop Bhangra.
Chapman, he came on as a last-minute guest for one of my friend DJs, DJ Soul Salam. He showed up and we just hit it off. And a few months later, we were asked to play a really big festival here in San Francisco called Stern Grove, and they wanted us to do a full live set, which we had never done. It was really cool. I called him up and was basically like, you know, I want to do this.
So I thought, wow, that would be a good opportunity if I could somehow link with these people and get back down to San Francisco.
And he came out and we rocked 13,000 people. Hands down the craziest moment in my DJ career, being in front of 13,000 people. It was crazy. It was right around the same time Mandeep Sethi came into the picture.
Every time I grab the microphone, I need more. A little more level, move like treble radio, breaking it down all around your town. If you hear that sound, then you know it's going down.
My name is Mandeep Sethi, and I'm an MC, spoken word artist, youth educator. When I was younger, I used to play instruments like the harmonium and the tabla. After that, I got into writing poetry, started taking my poetry to rhyming. When I rhyme and MC on stage, that's the only time I ever feel free. You know what I'm saying? The only time that I ever am fully myself.
It's really refreshing to be around somebody who just has that genuine go out there and kill it energy.
Back to front to back, hands up, hands up, hands up.
I met Ravi at NSB. He came up at the end of the night and he was probably the most humble kid I had ever met.
Okay, we got Ravi on the door. Okay.
My name is Ravi, and what I do is I play Dole and I DJ with the Non-Stop Bhangra Collective. The dhol is a drum that's from India and originated from Punjab. Historically, it's been used for live Bhangra. Before, farmers, they used to dance and celebrate the harvest, and it was usually just to this particular drum and to other smaller instruments. It's two-sided drum, you know, one side is made out of lambskin, the other one is synthetic now. It has ropes to tighten it, and now people have integrated bolts and screws onto it. It has a very infectious beat. It's kind of undeniable, I would say. It fuses very well with Western music like hip-hop and R&B. It's really cool because you can play it with so many different genres of music and it blends in so well with it.
Let's keep it moving, man. Let's rock the next one. It's my man Ravi on the dhol, man. Ravi, come over here real quick, bro. Make some noise for my man Ravi real quick. You know what I'm saying? It's the heartbeat. This the whole engine behind Bhangra right here. This is the dhol drum.
Ravi on the dhol, another component here that's amazing. We have a song called Doli Chakade.
Doli Chakade means, you know what I'm saying, Doli, who's the dhol player, playing the drum, play harder or bring more energy, right? Chakade, like pick up your energy.
Yeah, yeah. Say it, friend. It goes like this. Yeah, yeah. Say Doli Chakade. Say Doli Chakade. Okay, 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 okay. We got Ravi on the dhol. Okay, okay, okay. We got. Hey, yo. Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade. I got Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade. Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade. Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade, Chakade, Doli Chakade. Yo, I Ravi on the dhol.
Bhangra is something I really hold close to me, something I've grown up dancing to, listening to. It's, you know, definitely a part of me.
Amar does our visuals at Nonstop Bhangra.
What inspires me with the visuals is definitely the sound. I do a combination of bringing in video footage and effects to just kind of bring it as an overall experience.
He's been with us since we started this event from the very beginning.
He is one of those key people that really glue it all together. Marcus was an amazing painter, and we thought, what would it be like, because all these other parties in San Francisco had live painters, what would it be like if we had somebody painting at the event?
First time I did it, I was just real nervous. It grew and grew more. It started becoming fun, and I started pulling out more of the topics. And some of the topics are just through the Punjabi culture and their history. A lot of my own imaginative works. But basically, when I get there, do like a little sketch, just kind of get a rough idea of what I'm gonna do a quick drawing on the canvas, start painting, just paint the night away.
I honestly think what he brings to the night is the final rounding of the culture. He really completes that. He is definitely the icing on the cake.
When we started doing Nonstop Bhangra and we started doing the live stuff, we thought about adding a vocalist. And I remembered Hina, and I remember what a beautiful voice she had.
Every month she shows up and she's just so excited to perform.
She brings that mix of having a live folk element to the music.
Her level of dedication and drive to do this is just amazing.
And it's really beautiful and something very different for people to watch.
Having somebody show up that just has this excitement to really be there goes a long way.
I think we've gotten to a point where we know we have this live element part of Nonstop Bhangra that is this great thing that we can do.
And as we evolved, we added more people to it.
We got to a point where, you know, we were set on this one particular group, and then we realized that we are not necessarily a band.
We were getting away from who we originally were and what this was all about, why we started this.
As anything, you mature to a point in which, you know, you start to really strip it down and get down to what that core nugget is. You know, what are we sharing?
We want to continue being a collective of artists that come together, and then at the base of that collective is Dhol Rhythms Dance Company, Jimmy DJing and having, you know, Ravi on Toll. It's like that base is what the dance party started as. We want to get to a point where all of our choreography is done to original music and original sounds that are produced by Jimmy.
I'm excited to start to see like some faster movement with what I envision the music going, and I feel like this next year it's going to start to pop out more into the world, and it's like really, really an exciting time.
This dance is not just about the dance, it's also about the way a woman looks when she's dancing, and all of that incorporates what she's wearing. We put a lot of thought and effort into it because we want the beauty and the grace and the elegance to be shown. You wear a lehenga, which is this long flowy skirt, or you wear a sharara. Not many women wear that anymore, which is what we wear when we perform. And the reason that we wear it is when you do Bhangra, you want to be able to do all these, you know, big moves. You always wear a dupatta, which is the long scarf that you always have over your head. Punjabi women, you know, especially in traditional days, they would have long hair because women didn't used to cut their hair, and they would tie it up. Then they would wear this, it's like a wrapping that you'd wear in your hair, which is called a parandi. It's got these jewels hanging from it. You wear lots of churiyan, which is bracelets. For us, wearing all these beautiful jewelry and garments is part of our dance. It's part of our choreography. Bhangra it's generally done by men, so it's much more masculine, much bigger moves. Gidda is a women's folk dance, and it focuses on a lot more feminine movements, a lot more hand gestures. For us, when we do our performances, it's a mixture of Bhangra and Gidda. Majority of the times when we teach, it's just Bhangra. Combining Bhangra and Gidda together is a perfect mix because Bhangra is that strong dance. It's, you know, it's open and you're like letting go, and Gidda is the same thing. Gidda is very strong too, but at the same time it's much more feminine and beautiful, and to put those two together, you can do both of them at the same time, and I just don't see, you know, that many groups that are doing that, and I think that's what's unique about us. When I dance, I feel like the world is still. I feel like I'm up above in the sky, sharing the deepest and most true part of me. The most connected I feel in this universe is when I'm moving to a rhythm that frees my soul. That's why one of my favorite quotes is, "Move to the rhythm of your soul and you'll never miss a beat." A lot of the times when I write, it's just thoughts that come to me at that time. You know, outside of dancing, one thing I enjoy doing is going to the park, taking my journal and sitting down and reading and just writing. I'll think of like Punjabi lyrics that I'm like, oh, that would be so beautiful to create a certain move to or dance to. It's in Punjabi. It says, "Ik pal di hai zindagi, ajo nach lo ga lo. Ik pal di hai zindagi, ajo khushi mana lo. Aj nahi te kal asan sab tur jana. Fir pata nahi rab ne kado mel karauna. Bhul jo sare gam, aj dilan nu mila lo." Basically saying that life is short, let's dance, and we don't know when we're going to get the time again to reunite. So for today, forget your worries and let your hearts meet and dance. This was the first thing I ever wrote, was this song. And he's just made it sound even more beautiful than what it was in my head. It was the first thing we ever recorded. We haven't put it out yet, but it's gonna be, and then we're gonna choreograph something to this. I think this song is just very, very beautiful, and really looking forward to sharing it with the world. When we first did the event, it really was just a gathering, like a celebration of bringing our family together and celebrating this thing that we started. And over the years, you know, after we moved to the rickshaw stop, we started doing a lesson in the beginning just to see people would be into it, and people really responded to that.
One of the reasons that I absolutely love teaching this dance is because it's not about the choreography or the steps, it's all about the energy of this dance.
When I first started teaching, I had no idea how to teach this because I had never taken a class for it and never taught it. I'd always done it in a family setting. But I think the one thing about this music and dance is that, you know, it's something that I've grown up around and I feel very natural doing it.
Bhangra is a form of dance where you kind of naturally move to it. It's not rigid, so you can just come in and just dance.
It doesn't matter if you know the steps, as long as they're moving the shoulders and have a big smile, because smile is the biggest thing in this dance. If you have a smile, you'll rock it and you'll have a great time.
It's okay if you don't do it perfect, it's just to participate in it, you know? There's no like exact right or wrong way to do it. It's all about your energy and feeling comfortable with where you are, but more than that, just feeling the music and kind of just letting go.
It's just done in a very simplified manner where it's not intimidating. So learning it is fun, and once you get it, it's even more fun.
And it's also a release, you know, you like open up your body and you're smiling and like big moves, and that energy is what keeps us invigorated to continue teaching it and performing it.
They started as just wanting to teach this to other people, you know, and still that's the main reason. They teach kids, families, outreach groups, and I think that coupled with all the pieces we have is really the heartbeat. It's, like I said, the base of the organization. It's the glue.
One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time.
I don't think there are that many of us that are actually teaching it or performing it this way. At least not in a way where you've made it your life's work. This is what you do, you know? I think that part of it still is kind of, I still struggle with it because I know this is my passion, this is what I love to do, and I always feel like something that feels this good and positive to me, and, you know, how can there be anything wrong with it? But when I'm around, you know, the Punjabi community overall, then I'm reminded that, okay, what you're doing is kind of out of the box. Especially being a woman, I think if it was a man doing the same thing, it would probably be taken a little more, people would be more open to it maybe. At a certain age, you gotta get married and have kids and all that stuff. So the idea that you're dancing is, I don't know, it's kind of off.
It's always regarded as something you just do for fun. It's just a hobby. You know, you don't make a living off of this. Even when we perform, when we're asked to perform, to do shows, a lot of times people assume this is just for fun. They don't realize that we actually have to make a living off of it. We really want them to give it a chance rather than just thinking, oh, it's just a dance. It's just a song, you know, because it's not. It's so much bigger than that.
We'll still do the same thing. Shasha will go up in the front where she does this, 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 this. And then
Initially, when we first started, I was really always defensive about what we were doing. I remember I always found myself at times when people were like, well, what do you do? And I'd be like, well, I do this. And then suddenly I'd tell them, but I also went to law school, because I felt like if I just shared that with people, it would be like, oh, okay, so you're not just dancing, like you did something.
People that we've known for years and years and have talked about this and explained what we're doing will still say, you know, you'll see them every now and then, oh, you're still doing that dance thing you were doing?
And I think over the years we've just learned that this is something we do because it's something that feels right to us. It feels like this is what we were supposed to do. So it's easier to talk about now because we do feel a passion for it and a purpose for it, and, you know, feel like there is a reason we're doing it that's bigger than just us dancing.
You know, for me, for many years, I only had like 4 or 5 records that actually had a bunch of Bhangra tracks on them. So you couldn't really go out and buy vinyl, you know, or you had to DJ with CDs. A lot of that changed, you know, when Serato came along, because now you can play all kinds of world music, you can mix things up, I can throw in a little hip-hop or whatever, and it's all just right on my computer. Every now and then you gotta actually repair your turntables. It's gonna seem foreign to most people that DJ now, though. Everyone's just using a laptop. Oh, there's the inside of the baby. So I had to go online and find a whole bunch of tutorials on how to do this. Basically, you have to resolder this back on and the ground wires. You have your left and right signals. Serato or computer programs won't play if it's only getting half the signal. It needs a full, strong signal. You know, it's such a strange thing that the music actually runs, you know, from the needle into here, into like 4 receptors which actually take the sound. This is the most sensitive part of the entire turntable. If this is bent too much in any way, it actually changes the way in which the needle hits the turntable and causes you problems. When I initially started DJing, it was kind of intimidating. The initial years when we started it, you know, I definitely had a lot of Indian guys that would come up and harass me, you know, and they weren't super nice. But I've always been a person who's more about the perseverance. It just makes me want to study the music more and figure out the singers more and the songs more. I was an easy target for some of the early hate. And then, you know, by year 3 and 4, I think in the Bay Area, a lot of the Indian guys that came out, a lot of the Desi guys had tremendous respect. I feel like I passed a certain point, and I feel accomplished in the fact that I really learned this music, you know, and that I love the confidence that I have in it now.
I hadn't really met too many DJs who didn't grow up like Punjabi family or grew up listening to Bhangra, and just to see how much he really likes the music really inspires me, you know. It really shows that, you know, this music is for everyone, you know, and it's for everyone to share.
Jimmy has basically branded NSB. When people see our logo, they know that's Non-Stop Bhangra. Everything fits, you know, all of our graphic design work, everything just kind of flows together. It has this energy, and he created that, which is really, really cool.
For Non-Stop Bhangra on a monthly level, the first thing is booking the artist. Then it's on to the flyer. The flyer is pretty much the big thing. We got to figure out the vibe of the month, what thing it's around, if it's a holiday, if it's, you know, around our guests. A lot of people in the community always ask us, you know, who does all your design work? And then they're always shocked that I do it on top of Thrill the Event and on top of DJing. But I feel like you've got to have that control. I go through images, figure out which image we're going to run with, and then once one becomes the final, I go in with all the information. And then once the flyer's done, like I'm about to do right now, I send it to the printer, and we go get a whole stack of page flyers from the printer, and the second round of fun begins, where I hit the street and start promoting NSB on pulls and in stores. This is where we come every month. They're good to us here. This is the best print shop in town.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
Thanks, Joe. So this right here isn't the biggest marketing goal of all times, but it's got to be everywhere. You know, if somebody sees it here and then they see it on a Facebook ad or, you know, an email that comes into their email, it's seen that thing a couple times that really, you know, the logo, whatever, seen it a couple times, it makes people go like, I've heard of that. And that's all, you know, really marketing is on any level. If you want new people, you've got to be out there everywhere.
A lot of stuff has happened in the last few months. As of November of last year, we basically had a discussion with the rickshaw stop and decided that it was time for Non-Stop Bhangra to move on to a different space. This is our last Non-Stop Bhangra here at the rickshaw stop.
One little crazy thing about December of this last year, as we did the last NSB at the rickshaw stop, was knowing that we didn't really have a home for NSB.
We really had to think about what we wanted. Where do we want this to go? Do we want to continue? And what does this mean for us and our dream and all these years we've been putting in.
Doesn't matter where we go from here or where we end up, this will always be the place we remember where Nonstop Bhangra manifested.
We had countless emails coming from multiple people just 24 hours a day asking where the new home is this going to end?
You do want to leave your audience in a way that, yeah, we're moving somewhere and you guys are going to follow us, but in our mind and you know, on the back end, we were like, whoa, where are we going and how is this going to get accomplished?
Wherever we end up, we're going to need your support and your energy and a lot of love to follow us to the next destination. We hope you guys will come out in just as big numbers so we can continue doing this.
Are we going to like magically find another space? Is NSB going to keep growing, or are we done? Public Works was basically the last place we contacted. They get a lot of, you know, touring acts through, a lot of big name DJs and groups through.
They're a very, very hot club in the city right now. For them to have a solid monthly like us, turns out, is a great thing. So we're gonna have a cool food cart outside, touring guests. It's gonna be really, really exciting. We've raised the party to this point where it's at this whole new exciting level. We're about to unleash all new sounds on people in the city.
I'm sure most of you guys know it's our anniversary. We've been doing this for 8 years, every single month. Happy birthday to us! Happy birthday!
Almost a decade of being able to do this and sharing it, and that's a pretty amazing thing to be able to share with people. Since our move from the rickshaw stop, we've added 3 new members to Toll Rhythms Dance Company. They used to be students in the classes.
My name's Emily. I never would have imagined that I would have had an opportunity like this. To be able to get on stage and to express myself in this way, it's really incredible.
I'm Andrea Hersig. Even just listening to a tiny little bit of Bhangra music, you instantly get that uplifted feeling in your heart. The dance is like that for me, just pure expression of fun and joy.
My name is Michelle Baird. About 5 years ago, a colleague of mine drugged me to Vicky's class at Ashkenaz. And I said, dance? I don't dance. This isn't what I do at all. But I loved it, and it just became a part of my life. It's just an amazing opportunity to be joyful and share that joy with other people.
We as a dance company have grown so much over the last year, and it's been nice to have fresh energy into the mix. We've also added new Dole player. His name is Mehul.
So I played Dole for about 3 years, but playing for Nonstop Bhangra is a whole different environment. You're playing for about 500-600 people at a time. The crowd is just always a mixture, and why I love coming out to NSB every month.
And Pavit, who plays Dole with us.
This event is all about culture, showing people in San Francisco and the rest of the Bay Area like what Bhangra music is all about and how diversified it could be and how it can be accepted by so many cultures and enjoyed by everybody.
We also added a thing called a Brat Mob, which is basically, as most Asians know, it's a part of when you're getting married. You have this brat, which is like a dancing procession outside.
So the Brat Mob, the procession that we do that actually leads into Nonstop, is like India in San Francisco. Because you see these processions in India coming down the street, and they're so loud, and they're so bright, and everybody's just really involved. Everyone on the sidewalk comes and is sort of dancing along and wants to join what's happening. So it's really cool to get a chance to take that here. We always pick up tons of people and we sort of bring them all into the club. It's just a really nice way to sort of connect that inner space and outer space.
And it was so fun. It was an opportunity for people to dance outside on the streets while you're dressed up. Just adds a whole other element to the night, which we hadn't done before.
The girls have been taking on a lot of really high-profile performances here in the Bay Area. You know, Grace Cathedral, not many dance companies ever get to dance there.
The energy was just really amazing. It was, you know, one of those things that just reminded you why we continue to do this. So, you know, you look around and you're in this beautiful cathedral, and how often you get a chance to be able to share a music and dance from, you know, a different country or different culture, and you're in a cathedral dancing to it.
JCC, really wonderful to watch them finally fully showcase an hour and a half worth of just Dole Rhythms dance performances.
One of my favorite places to perform because it's just this beautiful space and this nice big stage. Very rarely do we get an opportunity where the stage is big enough to host us all and the choreography is able to be shared the way that it was, you know, created with all of us on stage.
It's one thing to see something in a club, it's another thing when you're on an actual large stage and the focus is solely on the dance performance. That performance for them is always really, really big. They rehearse, you know, 6 months they build out the storyline to it. You know, we bring in Hina to sing.
It was an opportunity for us as Dole Rhythms Dance Company to bring out all these performances and choreography that we do to another level.
It really showcases what they come together and do.
We couldn't believe it when we found out we were asked to present at TEDx SF. I think the most exciting thing about it was we were actually getting an opportunity to tell our story.
And we've gotten a chance to do our choreography and performances in a way that we haven't before.
It definitely launched our whole group, Nonstop Bhangra, the dance troupe, into a whole new different phase, I think.
We're all really coming together and everybody's creating.
And it's getting to this point where we're starting to get in front of these bigger stages to showcase, you know, what we are.
The more and more performances we do, the more I'm inspired to create, because every time you do one piece and you see the feedback and people are like, wow, that was beautiful, you walk away from it going, what else can we do?
The last year has been a big building year for us. Moving to the new venue and keeping the party alive was our #1 goal, and really move into a spot where, you know, we become more of a premier place in North America for Bhangra.
We've been able to book more live acts, which we weren't able to do as much before.
And I feel like we've really, you know, raised up to a level in which we can bring a lot of what is big in the Bhangra world to the Bay Area.
We've had Dali do Dublin a couple of times, and we've had, you know, a couple of other musicians. So being at the bigger place and at the new venue allows us the opportunity to explore that and to be able to continue to bring new artists and new energy into the mix.
We've become, you know, kind of a conduit for a whole new group of people that have helped us create a new experience. It just continues to grow.
I feel really lucky to be able to be a part of it.
It's a huge honor because these women have been dancing together for years and years and years. And to be able to get a chance to be part of that group and to be on stage is pretty amazing.
We are all able to come together through music and dance. And what we share it wholeheartedly from, you know, from deep down inside, because we love to do it.
It's been something that we've watched grow from something that we didn't expect really to happen into this thing that we had to learn how to take care of.
These people are really talented at what they do, and they really, really work really hard at bringing this together. So it's really remarkable.
This has been such an amazing ride. I'm like so excited about what's down the road, what's coming. We have 100 in our sights now. And I feel like in the next 4 years, a lot of people are projecting that the next big push for Bhangra is going to be North America, and I feel like we're right at the heart of it.
We want to keep doing things that keep us inspired as performers, keep us inspired as promoters, keeps our audience inspired.
We have something very interesting to offer, you know, both to the touring artists that have never played a city like San Francisco, and to so many sounds that I DJ in my sets, so many sounds that this city still has yet to see.
We just want to share it. We want to travel all over the world. We want people to feel the joy that we feel.
Our goal is to do this for as long as we can and to share it with as many people as we can.
NSB has become this home that people come to every month, and those people want to see it grow. I want to see it grow, and all the places you can go with it.
And who knows what's coming in the future, but our love for what we're doing is so passionate still, and I'm really excited to see how far it can grow. We just have to keep going with it. Just have to keep dancing nonstop.
ਵੱਜਦਾ ਪੈਰ ਹਿੱਲਦੇ ਤੂੰ ਵੀ ਵੱਜਦੀ